Welcome back, guys. So, as you can see, got the motor looking pretty damn good. Not the greatest, but looks damn good to me. So I plugged off the emissions control. I just drilled them out and then took bolts, threaded them in, cut them off. And so, well, I'll be able to finish assembling the front of the motor. And today she's getting lined up to go back to home. So as you can tell, I've been doing a lot of work here. Yeah, she's looking pretty good. It's a little crusty in some areas, but I don't care. Once everything's together, you're not going to see much of it. But it was mainly the engine bay. I wanted to get nice and good and nice and coated to help preserve it so no more rust comes back. So, yeah, I say she looks pretty good. So I took care of the front. And this is what the overall entire frame used to look like. So there's no scaling, which is good. And I love the texture of the paint, how it turned out. Has a real nice texture all the way throughout the whole thing. Took the four-wheel drive out. That was a little bit of a stress load. But now, once that motor goes in, she's in to stay. Everything's nice and cleaned up over there. Unless that lower control arm gives me issues, which I doubt. Yeah, if you can see there, the front differential used to go between there and here. Everyone's favorite bolt right there. They should have welded a threaded in inside the frame if that's the way they were going to be. But no, the way they put that nut in there, boy, one would get creative how to redo that. That sucked. But with a breaker bar in the right spot and a half-inch drive socket about that deep, 18 millimeter, you get that breaker bar. First, you get your socket down into here and have that breaker bar come up this way. Put your hand over it, use your impact, take it out. Same way to put it back in, but you got to use a magnet. You'll lose that nut down in that frame. God forbid. That sucks. Alright, so, well, things are going to start speeding up a little bit here. Once that motor's in, then I got a turbo 350 transits going in with the cross member and hopefully a long enough drive shaft. Then I'm going to build my exhaust around it. So far, the exhaust looks like it's in good shape. The way it's going to go on. I showed that in the previous video. The way I modified this bracket here, as you can see. Now, it's the same as this. You can run true dual exhaust right out the back here. And so, I got one more thing to do to this head. I got a bolt that somebody broke off inside here that I gotta take out. Then that'll be fine. Much as I would love to show you guys the action of what I'm doing here as I'm doing it, there's a couple reasons why I'm not doing it. For one, number one, is no one shows me any appreciation for the amount of work that I've put into this thing. And the four-wheelers. And the dirt bikes. And the how-tos. They just seem to come here for answers. Once they get their answers, then they'll hit the like button. They don't hit the subscribe. And just like they don't care. I just want my answers. Goodbye. That's it. I don't like feeling like I'm being used. So it's just, okay, so now you get to see what I was after. There we go. Nice textured look on the manifold. Water pump up against the black, the chrome. Of course, I'm going to be replacing these pulleys so they match with this here. Got a little bit of mild overspray of black on my chrome. And, well, this chrome ain't going to last for long. They don't seem to last long. But that's what I was after. The carburetor is just going to stay the way it is because there's nothing you can do for it. You get paint on there, it'll flake right off. It'll get juiced, look like shit. So you might as well just leave it like that and just do a good clean job on it. So you should be standing up a little bit higher after the spacer. Probably about. So anyways, what we got going on here is got my motor mounted. Woohoo. That's in. Starter. No bueno. I have to, that's from a 350. It's not even touching the flywheel on the 305. So it's got to be swapped out. Got to get the other flywheel and the torque converter for the turbo 350 trans. I got my exhaust welded in pretty good. From this section here all the way back is just tack welded, just to hold it in place so it don't move. I don't want to make it exactly permanent yet because I still gotta fit the body. But if you look down it, it's right on the money. That's what I envision right there. And then they're going to dump out the bottom right in front of the fender, in the front of the rear wheel. So, got my pipe welded here, solid, up to that point here. That's just tack welded. I had to piece it together, okay? I'm not exactly rich. I don't have no money. And I ain't going to be the type to try to brag and say I got something that I don't. What I do have is a good functioning mind that can still help, still build stuff and utilize what's around me. For those that are in the same situation, I'm permanently disabled, multiple surgeries, can't afford much. Since the market is hit rock bottom, no one wants to pay anything anymore. They just want everything handed to them. So anyways, without putting on the rant, this is what I've gotten so far. So the exhaust is mounted. Transmission is mounted just there so it don't fall over and get in the way and get damaged. So that's a better place for it. Did the mock-up. I also modified the cross member. On this vehicle, this is supposed to be the bottom. And then that's supposed to be on top. So I flipped it upside down. I cut that bracket off. It was over here. I flipped it upside down and put it here. And now we have a transmission mount. There's no jack no more. She's in there. She's nice and solid. She ain't going nowhere. I'm going to say that my welds ain't too bad. For what I am. I don't do that for a living, so I don't care. So for those that haven't seen this video, I got a 94 GMC S15 frame, which was the two-door like the Blazer, and the back seats, and then had the back part here. So we got a 79 turbo 350 trans of a 79 Chevy 1-ton truck. And we got a 87 Monte Carlo, just say BOP, Buick Olds Pontiac 305. It's actually a GM small block Chevy. What appears to be what came out of the Monte Carlo 87 Classic. And well, it's getting there. It's getting a little bit more done each day. So I was messing with the transmission line, so there we go. So we got the hoses, we got the dipstick, all that stuff here. Carburetor is getting changed to a 650 for a Chevy, not a Ford. Not from a Chevy bolt pattern to a Ford bolt pattern. I'm going actual with Chevy. This whole entire thing is Chevy here. The only thing that's Ford is going to be the body, unfortunately. When I deal with a Chevy vehicle, I like to keep everything Chevy. When I'm dealing with Ford, I like to keep everything Ford. But unfortunately, I don't have that option. I have what's available, what's here, what I can afford, and what I could do. So that's where I'm at with this. As you can see, she's looking pretty good. Working very hard at it. It's hard to believe. I'll show you some photos of the before and the after. Well, actually, you can just look right here. That's the after. And then look here. There's this point. I'm going to finish sanding down the frame, get it painted, get it preserved, all the way up to about this point, because right from this point back, I got to modify. Going with the 4-link rear axle. So there's no sense of grinding everything down and then paint it and then just mess it up again. So at this point, when I get it right to here, sanded, painted, which should be tomorrow, I'm getting lined up to put that body on here. It'll be interesting how it's going to be done, so y'all might want to stick around and watch it. I found a little trick that I'm going to try and see if it works. So that's the drive shaft from a 95 Blazer. No, not Blazer. 95 S10 pickup. And it fits perfectly with everything I'm doing here. And she'll line up for the rear axle. The choice of axle is looking to be about a 67 Chevelle rear axle. Has the 2 trailing arms, you know, springs, struts, whatever. So I'll have to mess with that. I haven't decided how I'm going to put it in yet, but so I think I did pretty good so far. And I know it sucks to have an 8-minute video, but you know, I was all about making videos and how-tos and do this and utilize your tools to do this and do that and try this method and set it up this way and that way. But I wasn't getting enough likes. Wasn't getting enough attention. Tears up too much of my time. I had 2 4-wheelers sitting over there. I got one that doing a video took me over 2 months to finish it. Had the same amount of work that needed to be done on the other 4-wheeler. And I did that one off screen. And I got that done in 4 hours. Had it sold before that bike even went out of here. So that's the difference. And when I have over 18,500 watch, people that viewed my channel, and only it ain't worth getting upset about. I'm not going to even indulge myself into that. I just know I'm just going to continue doing what I'm doing, show progress of my work, and show things being done on a very skimpy budget, but it'll be effective. Won't be long for now. That body over there is going to be on top of here, I'm hoping within this week. Well, I still got good weather. So far, the only thing holding me back from that would be is sanding down the rest of this frame, which is the reason why I just tacked these pipes in, just tacked them. Because when I get the body on, I'm not exactly sure how this is going to play. And so right now, to be easy, just hit it with a grinder and knock my welds off and then redo it. I may need a little down lower. It may just be fine. I may just do a body lift and it'd be just fine. So at this point, she's coming along just fine. I like the way everything's turning out. It's taking me a little bit, but it's working. And then the way things are going to go here is I'm going to weld this nut. That way you can come in through here underneath the car, take that bolt out, and still get to the exhaust. And then knock off the clamps, release. And she'll come, the muffler will come off. You just cut it and take the muffler off if it needs replaced, fixed, or whatever. I tried to think of stuff like that. That if I'm building something, if I'm going to put it on, I'm going to make it to where it's removable, easy. Don't want to have to fight for it. Don't want to have to take the body off just to do a muffler because of the location of where they're at. If you ask me, I think that it's not straight. It was not intended to be straight. But my floorboard sits down a little bit lower in the front than it does here in the back. And the seat is up. So I think that's going to play a good role in it. And, well, this drive shaft, as soon as it's finished drying, I'm just going to put it back in its resting hole so it can finish drying. And I think that's where I'm going to leave this today. I'm just going to get back to grinding the rust off of this frame and do a little bit more tomorrow, and then hopefully the next day I'll start getting things lined up and ready for this body to get put on.